process of increasing in size. A feature that is both individual, intrinsic, and throughout nature.
This is going to be so interesting, you know.
This is the moment we have been waiting for.
I'm feeling it now.
What has come before is now consigned to the history books. This new decade brings new challenges, new rivals, falling giants, and new beginnings.
Bang, bang, bang! 3 shots to the heart.
Oh,
In the back end. Oh no!
Those who are climbing will meet. Who will fall by the wayside, and who will embody growth.
There's still wheel to wheel!
That is unbelievable.
League of Europe, grow or fade.
How is it going, everyone? Welcome back to the League of Europe. We are here for round 7 of Division 2. No, I am not the small Scottish fake that everyone likes to call him of Dakar. No, my name is J. Cole. I am doing covering for you guys for this evening. And I am not alone. I am also partnered by the one, the only, the one that's usually here every single week. It is Verstappen.
Hello everyone and welcome once again to Division 2 round 7 here at Canada this time. Yeah, it's quite an interesting track always and we're looking forward to this one.
Indeed, we are now around the Canadian circuit, as I believe Matt240 had said in the chat. Good luck to all the walls out on track, they will be suffering. It is known as one of those tracks that a lot of it can sort of change an absolute dynamic just by someone even just touching a wall. 14 corners on the track as a whole as well, and let me tell you, about probably 10 of them makes up with it just as a chicane. So I am very much looking forward to seeing how this is going to be going this evening. Of course, I have got the standings up on my screen as well, so you guys get an idea of who is where in the championship. At the moment, it is Mr. M Shaw, or Mini Shaw, as I think James likes to call him. He is on 91 points in first, with Rick is in second with 70 points, so 21-point gap between those top two. Dylan only just shortly behind by 10 points on 60. Matt240 is in fourth with 46 points. Slash in fifth with 36. Lyrionics in sixth with 35, only after just doing 2 races and picking up his first race win at Spain on his debut. In seventh is Skyzy on 35 as well, tied with Lyrionics. In eighth is Packer on 31. Ninth is Nico, and Spag and Chips is in P10, tied with Nico on points as well. And of course, as you can already see, we are in 4 minutes into quali already. M Short putting a time on the board. But Verstappen, who do you reckon may come out on top out of all of this?
Well, of course, M Short has been showing great pace all season and here once again opening with a 1:07.7, 5/10 clear of everyone else. That's looking very promising at the moment. So I reckon he'll be going for the win. And Matt240 has also shown the pace, so I think I'll be between them, but there's so many people who could be competitive here. I really gotta call it. It could be anyone, really.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It definitely can be anybody. I know, depending on who you ask, it literally could be 5 to 6 different people that could win it. I did just check at the bottom of the screen, and I think I just seen it said that Car Mentalist got a 5 grid place penalty for a collision with Spag and Chips. As just another thing to note as well, as you see Maurice retire from this session, he does actually have a quali ban, so that's the only reason why he has retired early on in the session. We've already got a few guys that have done their times at the moment. 10 people have done it. M Short, as Verstappen said, has put it on pole so far with a 7.7. But who would you like to go on board with for, well, just to sort of get quali underway properly for the stream?
So I think Lando's on a good lap here at the moment, coming out of turn 9 up towards the hairpin in the sector 2 split at 40.9. See how that's going to go on to down into first gear, even second on the exit of turn 10 now for 11 and 12, which is easily flat. Open up the DRS up towards the chicane, and let's see how Lando gets on here towards the infamous Wall of Champions. Difficult chicane, easy to validate as well, easy to put it in the wall. Let's see if Lando does it nicely. He does it nicely indeed, stays tight to the wall there, and let's see, comes across the line with a 108.763 and puts himself to P9.
Yeah, it does indeed, and I'm expecting probably pole a few or three of these guys to be in around sort of the mid-7s. As I've just said that, I'll go on board with Matt 240. He goes into P2 doing a 7.8, so definitely bested what he done with his teammate just then. But I mean, I guess we'll see towards the end of quality. We've still only got 12 minutes left to go anyway. But I was just about to say, we'll go on board with Iro Packer, but he's unfortunately invalidated his lap, so I believe he's going to be going for a proper lap right about now. So we'll stick on board with him and see how he does. In fact, he's not actually carrying on. He has put it into 0 ERS, unless he's chucking it back into 2 maybe now. No, so he's not going for another lap. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of the time, I know you and Dan usually do the D2 comms as well for Staffing, but of course, I've only sort of done it like once or twice, and I think the last time I did it was in Bahrain. So, what do you sort of make of a few of these guys on the grid? I know you said you reckon that M Short and Matt 240 could be sort of battling it out at the top.
Yeah, definitely. Them two have been looking insanely quick, but I'm sure has been the most clinical this season. Can't underestimate Rick Hurrick or Dylan either. They have been looking strong. They are, I think, 2nd and 3rd in the championship, if I remember correctly. And yeah, they're definitely still up there for the high-end spots. And as well as Lyronix, who's only joined recently. He's now got a full-time seat in the Williams, I believe. So let's see what he can do. Of course, taking the win in Spain, which was his debut race. So those are kind of the drivers you have to be looking out for, I reckon.
Yeah, no, for sure. And as I said, yeah, with him picking up his first win on his debut at Spain, you've just got to think it's going to be, well, it could be looking up for him. I think, as I said, he was like 6th or 7th in the standings. So, I mean, we'll wait and see how he does. Was just on board with Ryan coming across the line. He's gone and done an 8.5. And I'm just trying to see if there's anybody else that's making their way up towards the line. I think Nico might be, Hardy might be the next one. My ex-teammate, shall I say, getting moved up from Division 3 to Division 2. He is just coming down the back straight now as he makes his way up towards the final chicane. Turns 13 and turns 14, taking him very nicely as well. Getting a very good exit. I've seen what he can do in practice. He's very quick. Is he going to replicate it in qualifying? He does go into P3 and does an 8.0, just up ahead of Tiger Ghoul.
That's a very impressive time for your first lap indeed. His teammates coming around. XL Link coming through the last chicane. Bit more conservative than Hardy, but let's see, coming across the line, XL Link and 108.3 puts him into P7.
Yeah, and another thing to note as well with Dan, or Ling as people know him as well. I think Ibo put it in the Discord chat earlier with like people's best quali times. I think Dan's best quali time was only a 109.2 in total, because last season it was raining in Division 2 where he obviously made a massive improvement for that, so he couldn't show for it, and yeah, that's his best time. But on to the session now anyway. Of course, he's done an 8.3. Maledictus, who's just making his way up towards the line now, he slots in a P6 just behind his other QBR compadre of Nico. Of course, Nico being up into P5. 3rd through 5th, literally only split by 0.5 of a second.
Well, that's kind of the usual here in D2, and I think you'll be seeing a lot more of that throughout the session as well. Just looking around if there's anyone on their lap, or at least close to finishing.
I think Spag might be the next one, if I'm not mistaken.
That's possible indeed, as he's kind of looking up there into the hairpin, as Carmental is letting him through. A bit of a wobble on the exit of 10 and 11. Let's see, open up the DRS towards Shim. What can he do?
Let's have a look then. He's just making his way down the back straight, coming up towards turn 13 and 14. He needs to try and get a very good entry and exit out of that final chicane. Gets it done quite nicely, a little bit preservative on it, but still keeping it clean nonetheless. Up to the line. Spag does a 108.3, knocking Dan down, and Spag sitting into P9. Now, a few other guys, of course, I know are on a lap, and a few other guys are, in fact, actually, well, I'll say a few. There's only one other person that's joined the league as of recent, and it's someone that I've also raced against before as well, Puppet Master 2501. Now, as I said, I've raced him in another league before, and I know he can be very quick, not only sort of just at the circuit, but just in general. It's just keeping an eye on his actual race pace, because I know his race pace can be a bit of a letdown at times, but at the same time, it sort of goes one way or the other for him on both race pace and quali pace. If it's good on race pace, he's bad on quali pace, and then vice versa. So, of course, welcoming him to the league as well. But just sitting on board with one of the Leonis lads of Lyrionics. He is just sitting behind Spag at the moment as Lyrionics is making his way up the back straight now, as Packer putting it into P4 in a 7, well, in fact tying the exact same time as Tiger, but Lyrionics now making his way around the final corners now, very narrowly avoiding the wall of champions, and now up towards the line comes the Leonis lad. He only keeps it into P11, a 108.3 as well.
That's a decent lap time, but after being so close, he's only P11 for now. Let's see if he can improve on that. Meanwhile, we have M Short coming through the last chicane. Let's see, can he improve on his 107.7? Up to the line goes the Mercedes driver with a 107.5. What lap time!
Wow.
And that puts it into pole by just over 2 tenths for now.
That's insane. That's actually a very quick lap from the Brit in that Merc. I'm sure it's on equal car performance and not realistic, because that is an absolutely insane time, especially for Division 2.
Yeah, definitely true. And just looking throughout, so MMA Slash, I think he's just starting his lap, so Hardy, no, that's Ling, never mind me. One of the Renaults, as Lando, can he do something as he is coming up to the line? He's in the P8, decent lap time from the Renault there.
Not too bad at all from him. I was just about to go on board with Rick, but he's not coming up to the line. I believe Mala's on an outlap, so the next one I believe that's coming across the line, it is going to be Mr. Iro Dillon. And in fact, he's invalidated this lap, so it's not going to be him. Hardy is going to be the next one. It does say he's gone purple in sector 2, just making his way around the hairpin. Gets on the power very early and keeps it down very nicely as well. DRS now activated for the McLaren and now making his way up towards the final chicane. Is he going to be able to best his 107? His 108.0? Just grazing the wall of champions, and now up towards the line comes Hardy. A 7.7. It actually slots him into P2.
It's a very good lap time. So Ryan is invalid, unfortunately, so he won't improve for now. MA Slash is invalid, and here Nico, he is up into P2. That's a good lap time from the Red Bull driver there.
It is indeed, and I've just seen someone else just move up. That was Maledict. I think that was Maledictus, if I'm not mistaken.
It was Ling, I think.
Ah, right. Okay, yes. So Ling just putting it up into P7, a 108.1 now. Pole time is sort of around where we were expecting. M Short at the moment on a 7.5. Maybe he's got one more run that he could do to try and improve on that, but I think a lot of the other guys are, well, the only one that I think is just on a lap at the moment is the Portuguese of Maledictus, making his way up towards the line now. Took the last chicane very well, actually, and he slots it into P7, so he just goes up ahead of Ling.
It's a good lap time by him. There's a bit of a gap from P6 to P7 at the moment. It's 2 tenths there. The rest is very close still all together.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Through.
Yeah.
Think I can't really spot anyone on the lap. I think everyone's just kind of going back into the pits, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Matthew may be the next one to start the lap, so might as well ride on board with him.
Certainly will. And you know what, Verstappen, I'll let you do the honours. I'll let you take us through a lap around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
As he's coming up towards turn 1, down to third gear, and through turn 2, difficult combination up the traction, and it's quite nicely done by the Renault driver there. Now through the first good chicane of 3 and 4, 5th gear, 6th gear on the exit, through the the right king of 5, and through now turn 6 and 7, another chicane here. As mentioned before, there's a lot of chicanes. The first DRS zone obviously on the track there, staying as tight as you can be there, and now towards the next chicane, 8 and 9, difficult one, but he keeps it there nicely, again tight towards the wall, towards the grass, well up towards the hairpin. Let's see, he seems to be 2 tenths up. This could be a really good lap time up the third gear for some extra traction there, and he seems to get it down nicely there. DRS is open towards the longest straight on the track, and he'll be going up to around 335 kilometers an hour, braking at the 75 meter, flicking it into the chicane. Let's see on the exit, Matthew 40, what can he do? Comes across the line, the Renault 107.6, it's just shy of M Short, by just under a tenth.
Yeah, very close from Matt. It was a valiant effort for him, and of course, I don't think he's going to be able to get another lap done either. So I think that's his qualifying all done and dusted for him. Another one that's just about to make his way up to the line. In fact, he's invalidated. Unfortunately, it was going to be Packer, but yeah, as I said, unfortunately, he's invalidated. Another one that we need to try and keep our eye out for as well is like towards the back end of that is Rick. He's only sitting down in P18 at the moment, sitting second in the championship. He's done a 108.7. I mean, it's a bit surprising to see him down so low on the grid, but I mean, of course, he's on an outlap at the moment. He is, well, he's going to look to improve, and hopefully he will be able to.
Yeah, let's see if he can do that. So there's only one lap, maybe two for the one starting now, remaining in this session. And the first one out is Ben JS coming up towards turn 3, flicking in nicely and invalidates, unfortunately. Pass the back off and maybe start again. So I think one of the rebels behind him, as Puppet Master, has retired from the session. I don't know if that's on track. I think that is, so gotta watch out for that. Dylan is the one I was looking at on the lap. He's coming up towards turn 8.
Indeed, he is indeed, and I was actually just on board with Packer because I think he's actually just about to make his way up to the final chicane before we do go to Dylan, as he's just making his way around the final chicane now, grazing the wall of champs once again. Up towards the line goes the American. He goes and does a 7.8. And it's in fact just up ahead of Tiger. He does keep that position. I think him and Tiger had the exact same time last time, but we're right on board with the Dutchman of Dylan, and this is, as in fact he's unfortunately invalidated his lap.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed just about. Ryan is next on the lap as Matthew 40 has retired. Flicking into the chicane, that's Ryan. Little graze on the wall there on the exit. But let's see, XL Ryan goes up to 108.1 up at the P9.
Yeah, so Ryan managing to actually improve and get himself into that top 10, so good effort from him indeed. Lyrionics, he didn't manage to improve, so he's actually starting down in P15, so this could be a very bad start for both of the Williams. Again, we'll keep our eye out and see who's going to be where, but Hardy, he's making his way up to the line. He's improved. He's gone up to P3. He's gone up ahead of Nico, as I can see a Renault of, I think that's Lando Norris making his way up to the line. P7. Is that M Short? He did not improve his time.
And now I think we have Rick coming up to the line, so let's see where he puts himself. Only P17, that's kind of disappointing for him, to be honest. Now we have Spaghetti Chips, a 107.9 into P7, good lap time. Ling does not improve, and then one up the Renaults, that should be Nico, I think.
It is.
He's coming up to the line, he's invalid, unfortunately. His teammate Dylan coming around, as he's also invalid over the chicane, just about. That's unfortunate for him. Benjes is invalid as well. Slash is invalid, not on the lap. Packer's the only one maybe out there, but I don't think he is. That should be M Short on pole position once again.
Yep, it definitely looks like it is Ryan. I've just seen coming into the pits as well. Of course, Packer being the only other one as well, but he's going very, very slowly down the back straight as it is anyway. So, yeah, that is qualifying for Division 2. M Short chucking it on pole. I believe that is, what's that, his third or fourth pole position of the season so far. Matt sitting in second with Hardy in third and Nico in fourth. It just depends. All it can take is just one bad start, and one of those top 4, maybe even one of those top 6, could be moving their way up towards the top step of that podium.
That's definitely true, and of course strategy variation could be one vital thing to look at here. So I think there's quite a few possibilities around here. Yeah,
indeed. As you were saying about strategy, I know there's plenty to go from. You can do the soft, medium, medium, soft, medium, soft, soft, hard, medium, soft for the guys outside of the top 10. It's literally a whole variation of it. But as I said, M Short chucking it on par with Matsu 40 in second, Hardy in third, Nico putting it in fourth with the American of Packer in fifth, Tiger in sixth, Spag and Chips in seventh, Lando Norris in eighth, Maledictus in ninth with Ling out just making the top 10. Ryan in 11th with Slash in 12th, Dylan in 13th. Carmentalist, he got a 5 grid place penalty if you do remember, so he'll be starting down in 19th. So Lyrionics will be in 14th, Skyzy 15th, Rick in 16th, Puppet Master in 17th, Ben JS in 18th, and I said Carmentalist in 19th, and Maurice with that quali ban, he will be starting at the back of the grid.
Yeah, and once again showing, I think it was the top was it 17? I think they were separated by under a second, so that is quite impressive to see. Once again, a very competitive grid we have here. Let's see, it looks all sunny out there, so that will be good news perhaps for the drivers. I don't know, so some may prefer some rain, but it looks like it's dry at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely looks it. I think it was Division 4, if I'm not mistaken. I know were the ones that had rain. I don't know in Division 1 if there was any sort of rain, but I don't think there was, to be honest with you. I think,
No,
in
there
fact,
wasn't.
in Division 5 there has been, so only in the two lower divisions was there actually any rain, interestingly enough. So, well, I guess it's a bit interesting. Of course, also on the PC side as well, there was a bit of rain, but yeah, we'll just be focusing really on Division 2. The guys just doing their strategies, getting everything all ready and set up, and we will be underway very, very shortly. Outside of the top 10, the guys will more than likely start on mediums, but what do you reckon? Do you reckon that'll be like a viable strat for them, or do you reckon it's probably best to start on the softs?
Well, it depends really where it's at the top 10 year. Because if you're like around 11th, you could maybe afford to go on fresh softs. You'll have the advantage to the guys up ahead. Maybe make some position of the start.
Yeah.
But lower down, you could probably more go for mediums. But let's see what these drivers have opted for. As we go over there, well, there's no real variation there. Everyone outside the top 10 is on mediums.
Shocker. To be fair, I was expecting that to happen. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Ryan, of course, is the lead medium runner going off. That's going to be going off the line. So we'll keep our eye out on those guys that are on the mediums already, that are starting on them. Of course, an early safety car could really hamper their strategy, and it could really help the guys on the softs, because then they could come in early, chuck a set of mediums on, do the two-stop to the end of the race, because then they would have already done one of their pit stops in comparison to the other guys on the mediums. So I guess we'll wait and see how they do cope on with starting on the set of the mediums. But top 3 predictions. I know you said you reckon it's going to be M-Shot and Matt240 battling it out, but who do you reckon is going to sit on that bottom step of that podium?
I'm going to go for Spag for 3rd place here. I think he's one to keep it clean most of the time. Of course, one else to spring to mind comes to mind. It really is Ling. Of course, he can keep it clean, as we know of him. So I think those two will be battling it out for 3rd, but I think Spag will get the upper hand here.
Yeah, I've got faith in my teammate. I think Hardy might end up coming in towards the top 3. I might even say Nico could be as well, because I know when racing Nico last season, there would be times where he would get a few pens, and of course if there's a late safety car, it really would mess him over. But if there is no safety car, I feel like Nico could be well within that top 3.
He definitely has a shot on that, and don't forget Packer and Tigeri, they're showing some decent pace throughout the season as well. So let's see how this unfolds for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Indeed, we will, as everyone is just taking up to their grid boxes right now, and we shall wait for the 5 red lights. So here we go, the 5 red lights are now making their way on. And it is lights out and away we go. We went very early from that one, but Matt240 looked like he got the best start out of all of those guys, as a few guys, it looks like they've sort of disconnected on my screen. I'm not too sure what's going on with that, but M-Shot does manage to hold it in the lead. Matt keeping it in P2 with Hardy in 3rd. Nico does keep it down in P4. Lando Norris, by the way, I just want to point out, it says he's moved up to P5, but I don't think that is right. I can see an AlphaTauri, that's the one that's sitting in P5. I believe that is Tiger, so he's managed to make his way up past Packer at the beginning. In fact, Packer, he doesn't look like he's had a very good start. Sorry, is that Packer into P4? It's just the whole thing on the left-hand side sort of messed it over.
Yeah, it definitely happens sometimes, but it seems to be Packer had a good start, and he was alongside Hardy into turn 2, but Hardy just got the better of him for now. Top 2 have maintained positions like throughout the grid, because I think everyone's kind of stayed in the same position. It's a bit of fighting going down for P11. Ryan and Slash is down inside of Ryan. Bit of a pile-up here, actually. But Ryan seems to be getting the better of Slash for now. Slash using a lot of overtake, though, to come back at him. But I think Ryan has got the position for now.
Yeah, indeed, Ryan just managed to keep it down in P11. Of course, the lead medium runner at the moment on the grid. Lando Norris as well. It looks like he's getting a little bit of pressure from Dan, although Maledictus looks like he's pressuring Dan a bit more, as M Short already doing the first lap of the race. And now Maledictus trying to go side by side with Dan in towards turn 1. Mala down the inside, as Dan will have the inside towards turn 2. He's going to have a bit more of an advantage, a little bit of ball banging between the pair of them, but Mala does manage to hold it and keeps it and gets the move done around the outside of Dan in towards turn 2. So Mala now up into P9. I think a little bit up the grid as well. Packer is starting to just pressure the back of Hardy as well for P3.
Yeah, it does look like that. It's Short, Matt and Hardy are kind of having the same gap. Same with Packer actually. And then there's a little bit of a gap to Nico in behind, who's kind of struggling to keep within DRS for now. So we'll activate into lap 3. In the meantime, let's see as there's still a bit of a train behind Maledictus at the moment. As these guys are all close, but catching up to the pack ahead as well. A very clean start, I've got to say, and it's very impressive to see.
It is indeed, and I'm just going to quickly sit on board with Ryan because, as I said, the leading medium runner at the moment, he's going to have a bit of an advantage over these guys that are on a set of the softs, and of course the softs are going to be sort of dying out probably within the next 4 to 5 laps, and then you will really start to see a massive difference going through there, as M Short still the one that's currently set the fastest lap of the race, and of course DRS being enabled this lap, as Mala looks like he's starting to drop down from those top 8 guys up ahead, but Packer, I'm just looking on the left-hand side. He's only 4 tenths behind Hardy, and of course, with DRS going to be enabled for the both of them, we'll wait and see if the American does manage to get through on the Brit in the McLaren.
Yeah, definitely see. He does seem to be having good pace at the moment, so let's see if he can get through. He's 5 tenths behind at the moment. Matthew has gained a little on Short as well. That gap will fluctuate a lot, I reckon, throughout this. Maledictus has lost a bit of touch indeed still. So a bit of a train again forming behind him. Slash is looking very feisty. He's not going to go for it down into the hairpin though, and he stays behind for now.
Yeah, he certainly does indeed. So it's just looking like one big DRS train at the moment, as Nico's also starting to lose DRS, and Hardy looks like he's starting to lose DRS to the top 2 as well. As in fact, Matt coming up to the back of M Short. It's just, has he gotten a better exit out of the final chicane? It doesn't look as if he has. But yeah, here we go. Packer and Hardy now both side by side, as Packer now trying to go down the inside of Hardy in towards turn 1. Hardy will have the outside, the inside for turn 2. A little bit of contact between the pair of them, but enough space given. Still a little bit of wheel banging between the pair of them, as Hardy does maintain P3. And Tiger, I think it was, that has set the fastest lap of the race so far as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Ryan unfortunately picking up his first penalty already. Yes, penalties can be quite difficult to well, stay away from, really, as the track times are fairly harsh around here. So you'll be seeing quite a lot more of those, I reckon.
Yeah, we certainly will. So we'll keep our eye out on a few of these guys up ahead and see if they do end up picking up any sort of penalties that could maybe drop them back. And saying that, there's one of them, that's Tiger picking up a 3-second time penalty as well. Second victim of the chicanes. And managing to cut them as well. Bit of lockups going up in towards the hairpin, just trying to avoid hitting each other and causing a little bit of a pile-up. But Hardy, he's dropped back already 1.5 seconds from Matt240, and now on board with Packer as he's closing up to the back of the Brit, coming up towards the final chicane. I don't think Packer's going to try anything in towards that, as in fact Matt's in.
He is very early. He's going to go for a 2-stop, I reckon, as Packer is attacking Hardy now towards turn 1. This should be a dumb move, I reckon. Hardy will break late, though. Keep it around the outside, still side by side they go. A little bit of wheel banging through turn 2, but I think Hardy should still have this. And he's defending well that from Packer.
Yeah, very good defensive drive from Hardy indeed against Packer. And all of that is just allowing Nico to start bringing his way back into this fight here for what is now, of course, P2, with Matt making that pit stop. Ben JS down further in the field, picking himself up a 3-second time penalty, as I've also just realised Ryan gotten past Maledictus.
Yeah, and Lingus as well. They were both behind, but I think Maledictus has lost out through the last lap already. And he doesn't seem to be enjoying those softs as Tiger as at the moment, I think, as Pack got through.
Yeah, he had a bit of a moment going through that second chicane, almost lost it going into the wall, and of course him holding it is just allowed Swag to just go straight through. But now Lando Norris is also all over the back of Tiger, making their way down the DRS straight. Of course, Tiger isn't going to have any sort of DRS, so the Renault of Lando Norris now trying to go around the outside of Tiger in towards the final chicane. He goes around it, he really sweeps past him before he gets to the final chicane, and also picking himself up a 3-second time penalty for cutting that. But Tiger, he's not giving up yet. He wants to maybe try and go for a move on the Brit, but not close enough to getting any sort of move done.
No, definitely not. One thing to point out, I've just noticed Hardy's close to quite a bit up to Short, so Hardy's race pace seems to be quite decent at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. So we'll see if Hardy is able to get any sort of move done, as Tiger now just trying to attack once again on Mr. Lando 99 Norris. As Tiger, of course, having that moment earlier on, he's only 2 tenths behind the Brit in that Renault, but again, not close enough to getting any sort of move done on him. Just has to sort of sit behind him for now. But as you were mentioning about Hardy, is the gap sort of staying around 1.6, 1.7 seconds. I think Short is just doing everything that he can.
Slash is down the inside of Maledictus, as I think Skies is at the moment in behind. He's losing a few position, but Slash seems to be getting past Maledictus in the hairpin. And I think Mala has to tuck him behind. He has overtake still enabled to turn stuff now. And I think Slash is going to maintain this. Although he hasn't got a lot of ERS, Maledictus is still close enough towards his chicane. Stays in mind though for now, right? Because there's another time penalty as well there.
Yeah, indeed. All of this is just sort of hampering Ryan, especially with all these penalties that he is picking up. Come towards the end of the race, he could be dropping back by quite a bit. As Skyzy, he comes into the pits already on lap 5. Yeah, so he must have gotten himself some wing damage. Must have hit the wall on the outside, because I think it was where it was at the same point as where Tiger had his moment. I saw he was losing places left, right and centre from there, but unfortunate for the Frenchman. Hopefully he can sort of redeem himself later on in the race. He might just be praying for a bit of a safety car to happen.
I'll definitely be hoping for that to happen, and for now he's just going to continue on. Meantime, it's kind of stable at the moment. Not much happening. As I say that, Ryan has had a moment. He's spun, I think, and he's got back on track. Does he have damage? It does look like his right end plate seems to be gone. So he must have had a moment out of this shame chicane. That seems to be a vital point at the moment. Sorry.
Yeah, it does seem to be that guys are just losing sort of out of that third chicane, I believe it is. So we'll keep our eye out on that when people do go through it and see if they are the ones that are making a bit of a mistake. As Ryan, in fact, is staying up ahead of these guys. So he is battling at the moment with Car Mentalist as Tiger into the pits. One of the first front runners, other than, of course, Matt 240, to make their pit stop, as Matt picking up the fastest lap of the race so far, an 11.0 already on lap 8. So that's very impressive, and we'll keep our eye out on him once all of the other guys at the front do come in to make their pit stops.
Yeah, definitely he seems to be hoping to undercut Short by a massive amount. Let's see, but he comes up to traffic now, starting up with Maurice, and he picks a time penalty that won't help his cause at all.
No, it definitely doesn't. And just sort of keeping our eye out on the mini-map as well. Just having a look. Puppet Master, he made his way into the pits. He's come out on a fresh set of softs. 1.5 seconds behind Skyzy. So he, of course, is also going to be doing a 2-stop strategy. But I assume that he's probably going to go on a set of the mediums towards the end, as Matt now just getting past Maurice, and a little bit further up ahead, Slash and Ling, both side by side, as Slash going down the inside already in towards turn 12, and with that, well, he hasn't, with that DRS, he's already just surging up ahead, or I should say excelling up ahead, really.
Yeah, I'm just going to ignore that pun at the moment. Maledictus has lost the position to Lyronix. He doesn't seem to be enjoying those softs at all, while Lyronix is looking quite quick. Second fastest medium runner, as Maledictus has a little half spin there out of turn 2 as well. In the meantime, I think Rick got past Dylan as well. He's up at P11, so he seems to finally kind of found his pace at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly was, and this is what I was mentioning before about the soft tyres. So we're now 8 laps on already on the race, and you can already start to see how much the mediums are taking into effect. Slash is already up into P7, getting past Ling, and already 1 second built that gap up. And he is catching up to the back of Lando Norris at an exponential rate. So Slash already within DRS now.
Matt is round, and he was trying to go around the outside of Ben JS, and got a bit of contact, had to hop across the track there, the escape road, and has fun. I don't think he has damage, but this will not help his cause at all, and I think he's lost about, I'd say, 8-9 seconds.
You certainly did, and I've also just seen just up ahead from that in regards to Ben, him just getting overtaken by Maurice, and then also Rick has now gotten past Maledictus as Ryan. That's his third 3-second time penalty already in 10 laps.
I think it's his fourth, to be honest. Because I was already on 3 on my count, so I don't know. As Maledictus is not enjoying those tires at all. Just come on board with him. Another little half spin as he picked up time penalty as well.
Yeah, I feel like Maledictus may just need to make his way in towards the pits pretty much now, this lap, just because, as you said, he looks like he is struggling a lot on those tyres, and I feel like the guys on the softs as well that are up ahead, I mean, I know a few guys may try and do a one-stop of like a soft to medium or soft to hard, but it's going to really hamper them at the end of the race. And of course, if they haven't got any time penalties, that's fine. They can probably do that. If they have got time penalties, however, then it's going to be a bit of a struggle for them to try and get the result that they are so much wanting. But I'm expecting a few guys to make their way into the pits this lap, as in fact, it doesn't look as if anyone is coming into the pits. I was saying that Lando Norris, he did come into the pits picking himself up a 3-second time penalty as Lando Norris, also a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pits.
Yeah, that won't help him, as Axel Ling is in as well. I think a little bit of battling is going on. Ryan is down the end of Maledictus into turn 1. Let's see, side by side they go. Let's see, can Ryan finish his move off? He does have the better traction on those mediums, and he is passed towards turn 3. Ryan into 10th.
Yeah, that's how you can see that Maledictus is really struggling. Ryan, with wing damage, managing to get past Maledictus like that, I really think he's taken these tyres a bit too far, I think. And you can already see Car Mentalist is now attacking him, and Maurice is also just sticking behind Car Mentalist to get past Maledictus as well. I mean, there goes Car Mentalist, but Maurice just has to stick behind him for now as Car Mentalist cutting the chicane.
Yeah, I think he made a little mistake in trying to avoid any sort of time penalty, but I don't think he managed to do that completely. Got a warning for it. Maurice getting the better exit, and he's trying that to open the gap there, which wasn't there, and he is into the wall and got damage. As Shorts, Hardy, and Nico are now into the pits.
Yep, and I've just seen Spag follow them as well. I was just watching on board with Slash getting past Spag, going down the back straight in towards turn 12. And of course, as you said, the guys are now coming in for their fresh set of medium tyres. Again, I think it is possible only just to take them to the end, but Lando Norris going on a fresh set of hards actually to the end of the race.
So he might be not too keen on trying the mediums, try and take it a little more safe and using those hards.
Yeah, he'll definitely have the better grip come towards the end of the race as well. But an interesting thing to note, with Matt having his spin, he's come. I'm sure has come out up ahead of him. Yeah,
definitely interesting. But that's also to note that Matt does have some good pace, then, because if he's still right there with a spin that may have cost him countless of seconds, his short goes past Maledictus quite easily. Maledictus pulling over. Don't know what's happened to him.
I think he's just pulling over just to make sure. Oh, he might have a puncture actually.
Has he got
a puncture? I might have just seen it on his rear left.
I see one.
His rear right, I think it is actually.
Yeah, rear right. Yeah. That seems to be a puncture for the Ferrari driver, and he's not going to be happy with that. Meanwhile, Packer is into the pits as well.
So let's have a look. Where's the American going to come out in relation to all of these guys that have gone for an undercut? He was just behind Hardy. He might even come up behind Nico. You can see Packer now coming out side by side with Nico and getting around the outside. But Nico trying to keep it down the inside. And no, he does not. He just slots in behind the American. So Packer did manage to overcut Nico and Spag. Of course, Spag being about 2.5 seconds behind. But yeah, I mean, Packer, a very good overcut from him. He just now needs to try and make a bit of a gap back to Hardy.
Yeah, definitely. In the meantime, Maledictus has retired. Benjes has gone off there, got a 3-second time penalty. Tigers can now get past him. As M Short is all getting held up by this, fighting a little bit. So that will help Matt and Hardy, and then maybe the guys from behind as well. Short trying to undercut Ben in the hairpin there, and let's see, he gets past there. Opens DRS, and is he close enough even to make a move on Tiger? I don't think he is. He'll be waiting maybe towards turn 1 to try anything on the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, he's not close enough, as you said, but of course he's going to be a bit closer. Well, in fact, he's not even closer now up in towards turn 1, so he's going to have to stick behind him for another lap, as Ryan and Car Mentalist as well, both going side by side. I think Car Mentalist just trying to get a move done on Ryan, as of course Ryan with that wing damage still, and managing to maintain his pace up ahead of Car Mentalist.
In the meantime, Matt got past Ben.JS. Ben.JS going off track and lost a lot of positions there, and I don't know if he has damage, but he doesn't seem to be at a good pace at the moment. Seems to be struggling quite a lot.
Yeah, he certainly does. I can't see any damage on Ben's car, so I think he's managing just to carry on. Short, I think he's going to be a bit annoyed that he's still stuck behind the back of Tiger, as he's already dropped Matt by 1.2 seconds. But just behind as well, Hardy, I thought he was maybe trying to look for a move on the back of Matt in towards the exit of the hairpin, but not able to get any sort of move done. And of course, he's going to have the RS. Matt won't, so let's keep our eye out on this battle. This is for technically a net P2, I believe it is.
Yeah, definitely, although Matt will have to make stuff while Hardy may be able to take these mediums towards the end. As Lyronix will be going in right now, and I think he'll be setting on to a set of hard tires. Yes, he will. It's yellows. Ben.JS again off, I think.
I think that was him. I've just seen him just sort of cutting across the final chicane, letting Spag and Dan through, as well as Lyronix now just making his way out of the pits. He has just come out ahead of Lando Norris, the other one on the set of the hards. So Lyronix, we'll keep our eye out on him to come towards the end of the race, because he's going to have fresh hards in comparison to, well, in comparison to Lando Norris, and also in comparison to the guys on the set of the mediums. As Hardy now trying to maybe go around the outside of Matt into, just into the chicane after the bridge, but he backed out of it. I think he knew there wasn't going to be enough space given. Now trying to go down the inside as Short getting past Car Mentalist, but here we go, Matt now and Hardy both side by side in towards the hairpin. Is Matt going to be able to maintain this position? A little bit of wheel banging between the pair of them and a bit of a squeeze, but I think Hardy might have actually gotten that move done on Matt.
They're still side by side, both the overtake button enabled, and they seem to both have DRS. I think Hardy only has DRS. Yeah, Hardy only has DRS and maintains that position for now. And now can chase after Car Mentalist up ahead. Short is chasing after Ryan, seems to be getting past quite easily there up into turn 1. And Short's into 4th place, only Tiger ahead of him now.
Yeah, no, that was a very good move from Hardy, getting that move done on Matt in the end as well. And as I said, that's now put him in a net P2. And of course, Hardy, he's now 2 cars behind the likes of M. Short, who he's now just going to try and sail it into the distance and just go straight for that win. Of course, if there is a safety car, that's going to help Matt out massively. And I think that's really what he is praying for, as just towards the back end of the grid. Hardy just going past Car Mentalist, but also Ben. Oh, hello. Ryan just cutting across that chicane.
Yeah, I think he made a mistake and tried to not be in the way of others, as Aero Packer's getting past Matt, and there's a bit of a pile up here. Just people going slowly. Car Mentalist and Ryan going side by side still there. Packer getting past his teammate there as well. And he is now into 7th. Can he make a move on Ryan as well? Is he close enough? I doubt it, as Tiger's getting past Dylan up ahead. There's a lot of fighting going on. Hard to keep up. Packer safe in behind Ryan for now. Picking up time penalty. Can he get a better exit out of the chicane? However, coming up towards turn 1. Packer down the inside of Ryan. Into turn 1. Is he past? Still side by side to keep it. Around the outside of turn 2, Packer goes, and I think he has the move done. He's up at the B6, and he's on a charge at the moment. Yeah,
it was a beautiful move from Packer getting that one done. Ryan, once again, another 3-second time penalty. At this point, I just think he might end up getting disqualified. But Packer, yeah, no, it was a brilliant move going around the outside of Ryan into turn 2, getting the move done, and, well, making it stick as well, because then that's allowing him to keep up to the back of Hardy. And then at the moment, Packer is actually sitting in a net P3, so at the moment the podium is looking like it's going to be M. Shaw, Hardy and Packer. Of course, if there's unless there's any sort of drastic changes, the safety car comes out, in which case Rick and Dylan would have been absolutely gifted for where they started, as Matt trying to go down the inside of Car Mentalist down the hairpin and just trying to force his way down.
Yeah, he's got past somehow, and Hardy getting past easily on DRS on Dylan there towards the chicane, and that's up him into P4. Nico is looking at Carmentelis as well, but the chicane is very difficult to break late. Now on to turn 1, Nico should be having this. Down the inside, Matt goes down the inside of Ryan as well. But Nico seems to be getting past here. Yes, he is past. Matt and Ryan still side by side there. Matt around the outside, and he's got past. Packer got past Dylan as well in the meantime, so there's a lot of fighting going on. And it's amazing to see this.
We can't keep up with it all, even just the two of us. We can't keep it up. As Spag now trying to go down the inside of Carmentelis, down at the end of the first sector. A little bit of wheel banging between the pair of them, but Spag getting the move done. Of course, if you guys are new to the League of Europe, then it is the top 12 that will get points. So Dan, currently the final points finisher, as just up ahead as well. I think that was Nico and Ryan. Bit of contact between the pair of them, but I think Nico's just had to back out of that one.
Watch back. He's going down the outside of Nico. Let's see, Nico's down the inside. Spag trying to follow him through. Nico's very late on the brakes, and Spag has 2 in 1 place, and Nico is up at P9, but basically haven't gained anything because he's let Spag through. Carmentelis is now going for a move down the outside of Ryan, and out towards Nico. He has to back off. But Ryan has backed up himself as well. So Carmentelis down into up into P10. Ryan is into the pits as Rick is got past Tigers. They're going for the lead side by side. Tigers seems to be having that move done. Running out of turn 2, and he is into P1 at the moment.
Yeah, indeed, and M-Short very close to the back of Rick as well. Of course, Tiger. Did he make an early pit stop? He must have done, because that's he's only on 11 lap old medium, so I don't know if that's just a glitch on the right hand side, on the left. But
yeah, I think he's going for a 2-stop at the moment. Short got past Rick as well, and he is up into P2, and only got the Tiger still ahead of him. Rick picking up time penalty as Matthew 40 is getting past Dylan for P6 there into turn 8. Spax look to benefit from this as well on the exit of 9, now towards the hairpin. Is he going to go for this round out of the hairpin? Is he late enough on the brakes? Dylan climb to the inside, Spack and the better exit on the outside, still side by side they go. Spack is through into P7 for now.
Yeah, very good move from Spag as well, just going around the outside of Dylan in that hairpin. Of course, sometimes it is the better route to take, just because then you get a much better traction out of it. Dan and Carmentelis, by the way, just changing positions as well as Matt goes into the pits for his second stop on those mediums. So he's going for another set of mediums, I do believe, as the 2 Red Bulls are now both side by side of Dylan and Nico. I think Dylan was really just letting Nico through. Of course, Dylan still needs to make another stop, and same with Rick. Of course, as I said, those guys still need to make some sort of stops. But Matt, already back in the pits and coming out of the pits now. He's going to be actually out behind Skyzy.
Yeah, he's quite far down the grid at the moment, and he has a long way to get up the field again, as Short is hounding the back of Tiger at the moment. He is on some amazing pace, 92% ERS as well, but using it now to get past the AlphaTauri towards the hairpin. He'll have DRS as well, as Short is past. Into P1 he goes.
He certainly is, and look how close it is for P3. Rick, Hardy and Packer are all split literally by half a second. All 3 of these guys very close, as Hardy wants to try and get past the back, or get past Rick ASAP, so he can try and keep up with Short come the end of the race, just in case he does pick up any sort of penalties and Hardy doesn't. But Hardy still not able to find any sort of move down on Rick, but he got the much better exit out of Rick in towards out of the final corner. Rick trying to go a bit defensive on the outside, inside of turn 1. Hardy will now have the inside of turn 2, and I think Rick, he's just sort of backing off from that, was allowing Packer to go through him as well. So Rick dropping down 2 positions in the space of 1 corner. Unfortunate for the Finn, but of course with him being on a completely different strategy, he's just trying to hold up those guys as much as he can, just to try and maximise it for himself as well.
Yeah, definitely. In the meantime, another driver who's lost 2 in 1 is Carmentelis, and Spoppenmass has now retired in the pit lane. So we're down to 18 drivers at the moment, but yeah, Carmentelis lost 2 positions to Ling and Slash. He now has Lyronix on the back of him. Down the inside goes Lyronix, and it should be a fairly easy move for the Williams, and he's up into P11 there.
Yeah, he certainly was. Ryan, once again, another 3-second time penalty. I don't know how many he's got at this point, to be completely honest with you. I think we just need to try and keep a bit of a tally, like on a whiteboard or something, just to see how many he is going to end up having towards the end of the race. I think he might even be close to disqualification, as Maurice now trying to go down the inside of Ben in towards the hairpin. That's allowing now Matt to go down the inside of Maurice, coming up in towards turn 12, and I think they're both still side by side, and Matt I think is going to have the better run. A little bit of contact between the pair of them though. Maurice squeezing Matt into the wall, and now Matt he's actually taken 2 positions just down the back straight already. And Ben, there's nothing that he could do, but Maurice also getting past Ben as well. So Matt now I'm in a P14. Well, P13 now as Rick has actually come into the pits.
Yeah, and he's onto a fresh set of soft tires. Since he go around the outside of Matt there, and he's into P13, and he'll be on the charts because those fresh softs can be extremely quick compared to these other drivers.
Yeah, he certainly will. So Rick is definitely one we need to keep our eye out on towards the end of the race. Of course, these guys on a set of the mediums that are like sort of 9 or 10 laps old, they're going to be trying to take those, I believe, to the end of the race. Dylan, he's been on these mediums for 21 laps, and so is Car Mentalist. Excuse me. So I assume that the both of them are probably going to be coming in this lap. And I guess we'll see where they do come out, as Dylan, he's really struggling on those mediums.
Yeah, definitely. Slash is getting past him for P8 now, and I reckon Dylan will be getting into the pits here. He's backing off from this at the moment, and if all goes well, he stays out there, which is quite interesting to see. Car Mentalist is staying out as well, and Lyronix is getting past Dylan now as well, around the outside of turn 1, and that's an easy move done.
Yeah, I think that was probably going to be one of the easier moves that you could see done tonight, as Ben JS, I didn't even realise he was also on 21 lap old hards, as Dylan having a bit of a mistake as well out of turn 2, and was just going in the grass on the outside. So he's lost another place to Lando Norris, and of course the other one that's behind him now is Car Mentalist, also on 22 lap old medium tyres, but for some reason Car Mentalist just looks a lot more comfortable than what Dylan does on these mediums.
Yeah, it does seem like that, although Car Mentalist was getting a bit run over the points where the medium runners came there, but now that they're gone, Car Mentalist seems to have a decent pace again, but I reckon both of them will be heading to the pits quite soon.
Yeah, if it's definitely not this lap, then it will be the next lap. I'll be surprised if they don't actually come in this lap, considering how much time and places that they've lost through all of this battling with all of these guys. But a bit further up in the head in the field, Packer, he's now gained that time back on Hardy, and this is for a net P2. I will be very surprised if Tiger takes those mediums to the end of the race, because that would be absolutely impressive if he does manage to do that. He's taken them 16 laps so far. That's only going to be 4 laps more than what these guys have done on a set of the mediums already, and what they will do. However, 4 laps can make a massive difference from the end of the race, because then that's also puncture territory for him.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, Dylan, Car Mentalist, Maurice, and Skyzy all in the pit at the same time, and they're on fresh softs, and they'll be on the charts and trying to get the best out of it they can, really.
Yeah, certainly will, as Ryan just sort of sitting alone at the moment in P13, or I believe of that little group on the softs, they're just going to be making their way up to him very quickly, as he does make a mistake as well. But another little group that we also need to point out are the guys that are on the set of the hards, Lyronix, Lando Norris, and Slash.
Yeah, in the meantime, Tiger is indeed in, and I think he'll be going on a fresh set of softs, as Packer's got past Hardy then for P2. And that is the American up there. Let's see if he can hold on to that. He has 4 seconds short, so that seems unlikely to be bridged. But let's see if he can hold on to the second place.
Yeah, Packer is looking a lot more comfortable on these mediums than what he was on the softs to begin with. I don't know if he just sort of worked his softs into the ground or what, but Tiger, I just want to point out, he's actually come out ahead of Rick on those softs. Yeah,
definitely, and he's going to be in a good position, I reckon. It's only 11 laps for him to go to charge up to Lando's up ahead, and then Lyronix, Slash and Ling, and he go the list off. Let's see how quickly he can do it.
Yeah, he certainly will. Slash very close to the back of Ling as well. Hardy just managing to maintain his pace up to the back of Packer, but he's still not going to be close enough. In fact, Packer is getting away from Hardy at the moment, and Slash looks like he's closing up to the back of Ling, or to the back of Dan, shall I say. as he will have DRS, but look at his ERS, it's only on 5%, but overtake is enabled for him, and now Dan and MMA Slash both side by side. I think Slash is already getting that move done, just down the DRS straight, and yeah, move done already. Into P6 goes Slash. I'm really surprised he didn't try and go on a set of the softs towards the end when he started on those mediums.
Yeah, definitely, but I think he'll be trying to go and take him to the ends. Maybe that's what he can feel he can do best. Tiger picks up a time penalty. Look how much he's gained. I think he's gained about 2 seconds on Lando in 1 lap already. And that's just getting out of the pits as Dylan sets the lap on 1:10.7. That is quite quick, as Tiger setting purple sectors as well there. He's right up the back of these hard runners train as well.
Yeah, he certainly is. Just going, touching back on Dylan as well. I think he made up a gap to Ryan. I think it was about 4.5 seconds 2 laps ago. It's now only 1.5 seconds between them, which is, well, you can just see that's how much faster the softs are in comparison to what mediums are at the moment. And of course, coming towards the end of the race, the softs will start to die off, but he would have, the deed would have already been done, and he would have already worked his way up as much as he possibly could. But another one as well, like you said, Tiger and Lando Norris, very close to the back, is the man on the set of the softs, and he is, well, he's just gaining on him already, 3 tenths behind him. And I think it was only 1.4, what, a few corners ago as Tiger, there you go, fastest lap of the race so far at 10.5.
Yeah, let's see, he might be going for the exit here out of turn 2, but I think he's a bit too wide to try anything. As Ryan is into the pits as well, he'll be going on to a set of softs, I reckon, and just try to salvage something out of this. Tiger's onto the back of Lando, overtake engaged. Is he gonna wait? No, he's sending it down the inside of turn 6. Difficult move, Lando gives him enough space, but the exit might be for Tiger here. Open up the DRS, the overtake button as well. And Lando trying everything in his power to stay ahead, and he does that for now.
Yeah, no, good defensive moves from Mr. Lando Norris, but I don't think it's going to be enough as Tiger's now closing back again up to the back of the Renault now, trying to go down the inside of him, almost hitting the back of Larionyx, but does manage to avoid it. Tiger's now up into P9, and he's got another one on the hards just up ahead of him. Another interesting thing to note as well, really quickly, is that Hardy picked himself up a 3-second time penalty as well, so he could very well be losing out to Spag come the end of the race if he doesn't pick up any penalties.
Yeah, if you don't mind, cut me in if any action interrupts, but I'll go for the penalties, as I'm sure there's only 2 warnings. I think Bakker has 2 penalties, if I read that correctly. It's a lot of invalidated lap time, so excuse me that. Hardy picking up his first pen, and Spag is on 1 pen as well, and Nico.
Oh, commentalist!
1 pen.
He is out of the race. I don't know if he's binned it in the wall, if he's just retired in the pits.
No.
I think that's in the pits.
Yes, that's
It is
in the
in the
pits
pit.
indeed. As
Gotcha.
in the meantime, Tiger has got past Larionyx for P8, and
In
he is on the
fact-
charge now.
He is indeed, and I think what happened from there, Lando Norris, I think he hit the wall, and because he's gone very slow coming out of that second chicane. Has he got wing damage? Because I saw loads of stuff flying.
Doesn't look like he has. It does be looking up. Does look like to be looking up there, so you might have some slight that we can't see, as Tiger's getting past Exoling as well there. And let's see, is Larionyx close enough for a move, as he's gaining quickly, rapidly. Down the inside goes to Williams, and he's up into P8, taking full advantage from Tiger getting past, and basically doing something like Max Verstappen in 2015 in Monaco. That's kind of the same situation as Lando is getting past Ling as well, so Ling has lost 3 positions in the space of about 2 corners.
Yeah, unfortunate for Dan, and now make that 3 corners. There's now Rick going past Dan as we speak. So it was looking quite well for Dan. It's sitting in nice and pretty in P7. And he's now dropping down to P12 as now Matt240 going down his inside in towards the first or the second chicane, shall I say. And I just got to feel sorry for Dan. He literally just had all of that taken away from him. He was on 6 points. He's now just gone down to 1 point at the moment. Although, another thing to point out, I don't think he has got a penalty in comparison to all of these guys up ahead of him.
Yeah,
I think
that's true. As Matt240 is going around the outside of Rick, as he had a moment out of turn 9. Let's see, Rick stays ahead for now. That's a bit of exit out of the hairpin as well. Overtake mode is engaged for the Renault as Tiger can pass Slash on the straight up ahead as well. Let's see, is Matt going to make a move down the inside of the chicane? Rick was late on the brakes and Matt has to back out there. Rick stays ahead in P10 for now.
Yeah, he certainly does. So good defensive manoeuvre from Rick to keep that position from him. I'm surprised he hasn't actually gotten past these hard runners as of yet, but we have only got 6 laps left to go of the Canadian Grand Prix, and M. Shaw, he's just been practically leading it from start to finish so far. 3.4 seconds separates the gap between him and Packer, who's sitting in P2. However, will more than likely lose out to that, as Hardy is only 3 tenths behind him, and not only just due to that, but also due to his amount of penalties. But Hardy only 3 tenths now behind Packer, as he is closing that gap up very quickly, is the Brit in the McLaren. But also another thing to note as well, with a few of these guys up in penalties as well, M. Shaw, I think he's pretty much won this, unless it's unless something completely happens. But
Mattia 40. He said Danny inside of Rick, sorry to interrupt you there, but he's trying it once again, breaking the red exit though. Let's see, Mattia 40 has all of his overtake engaged once again. He has significantly more than Rick has. And Danny inside of the game once again. Is he going to be able to make it to work this time? He's down inside of his teammate well. And he has to avoid action there, Lando does. But he is in P10 and lets Rick through. Very sportsmanlike, and I like to see that, to be honest there.
yeah, it was a very audacious move for Matt. I thought he had actually gotten the move done, but then when he broke a bit too late and almost went into the side of his teammate, yeah, I think it was just, he had to really sort of give that position back. So, as you said, good sportsmanship from him in that. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying as well, with a few of these guys up ahead that's got penalties, it just depends on the guys. I think from like 5th and 6th, was Tiger's very close to the back of Nico as well, and it's really reliant on these two to see if they can maybe try and catch up to the back of that little group that's up ahead, the likes of Packer, Hardy and Spag, to maybe try and get any sort of positions made up. As Tiger going around the outside of Nico at the hairpin, and now Nico trying to hold it down the inside, but Tiger's going to have the better run, better traction coming out of the hairpin, going around the outside of the Spaniard in the Red Bull. They're both still side by side. In fact, actually, Nico, he hasn't got the DRS, Tiger does, but they're both very low on ERSs. In fact, Tiger, he's got the move done. I thought Nico was actually going to manage to hold it from him then.
Yeah, definitely, but Tiger is fast for now. Ben just picking up another time penalty. Not great day for the Racing Points, you got to say. As Mattia 40 is once again gaining on Rick. He has a bit of a look down the inside. Rick is late on the brakes, but is not going to give up that position that easily. And Rick stays ahead in P10.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't, and Rick, he's really struggling to get past these guys on the set of the hards. I don't know if he's just staying behind them just to, because he may know that he's going to jump the both of them, or what, to be honest with you. But I suspect that he may try and go for some sort of move, although he did make a bit of a mistake. And now Matt trying to go down the inside of Rick, coming up towards the bridge, but Rick, once again, because of him having that DRS, because of him being on the softer compound, he just stays up ahead of him, as Lando Norris picking up a 3-second time penalty and having a bit of an oversteer moment after the chicane of the bridge.
Yeah, definitely. There's quite a few I've seen already from Lando, I think, and it's quite not known to us who's going to end up here in front, as Slash is having some amazing pace. I forgot to say, I don't know if Nico made a mistake, but Slash is onto the back of him, has a bit of a look down the inside of the chicane, backs out of it. Nico making a bit of an error there once again, and Slash, as Ryan has in fact been disqualified there for penalties. Quite interesting to see. And Nico still holds it around the outside of turn 1. Danny is it of turn 2. Let's see, does he have the better exit? Still side by side, great racing between the two of them, but I think Nico should have this. Does lock up. Does he have right end plate wing damage? I think he does there. As Slash is trying everywhere to get past him, but is not getting past at the moment. But yeah, I think Nico has some right end plate damage.
Yeah,
you can look closely.
I can see that. Yeah, he has got some right end plate damage. So, to be fair, with him keeping up ahead of Slash doing this, it's not. He's doing a valiant effort of it, especially being 21 laps on those mediums so far. Of course, we've got 3 laps left to go of the session, and Nico is just locking up left, right, and centre.
So there's a bit of an incident here. Mattia 40 going right after the Rick breaking a bit too late and hitting the back of Lando there. So Mattia 40 has got past there. As a slash is down instead of Nico, this should be a dumb move for the Alfa Romeo, and yes, it is. Is Nico going to come back at him though? He's right on the back of the Alfa Romeo, but he doesn't have the straight line speed at the moment. And Slash stays ahead in P6 now.
Yeah, I think Nico, he's either going to sort of hover around 7th place, or he's going to be dropping back behind all of these guys on the set of the hards. As you said, Slash, incredible pace at the moment on these hard tyres, and of course with everyone on the mediums up ahead, Tiger, look how much he's closing up to the back of this group. Of course, Packer and Hardy, they've sort of dropped off between the two of them. I think Hardy must have made a bit of a mistake because he's 2 seconds behind Packer, but Tiger's just driven it absolutely exceptionally well, and he's only, as I said, only 4 seconds behind this group that are on 22 lap old mediums.
Yeah, definitely. But Packer, I think he's mostly just been showing him same pace as Matthew 40 and Lando Norris are going side by side. I think Matt just got past, to be honest. Lando didn't put up much of a fight. But yeah, as Lyronix as well can mention, he is gaining on Nico. Let's see, is he close enough towards the chicane? I don't think he is. He's closing, but he's not going to go for a move here. He'll be going for it into turn 1 perhaps. Nico goes wide on the exit, hits the wall there. Lyronix can get it fast down the inside of turn 1. Let's see, Nico is late on the brakes, but Lyronix is later and he's fast as Matthew 40 is looking around the outside of turn 2. This will be an amazing move. Is he going to make the stick? Engage the overtake button. Yes, he is fast. Good move from the Renault there.
That is a very good move for the Renault, and that's exactly what he would have wanted as well. He's now going to try and possibly look to get past Lyronix and maybe just try and get to the back of Slash. But we are on the final lap of the race now, and Nico is under pressure once again from Lando Norris, of course, coming under the bridge section. I don't think he's going to try any sort of move, so he's just going to have to stay behind him for now as Slash picking himself up a 3-second time penalty. But I'm going to go on board with our leader as M Short. As I said, he's driven an absolute exceptional race as there are yellows just up ahead. That is Ben JS at the final corner once again. I think just waiting for M Short to go past so he doesn't have to do another lap. But M Short, he comes home, he finishes and he wins around Canada for Division 2. Hardy does jump him into P2, but Spag, he does finish in P4 in the end. Packer only 5 tenths behind Hardy. So Hardy picking up P2, Packer in 3rd with Spag in 4th, Tiger in 5th. He couldn't make it work. Matt does jump up to 6th. Nico into 7th with Rick in 8th. Lyronix, he goes down to 10th. As Dan, once again, it just proves what happens when you get no penalties. He jumps up from P11 to P12 to P6.
Very typical of the McLaren driver, as we know of him. As Ira Dillon has still got a point there. Yeah, we'll go further down in a bit, but M Short taking another win here and exceeding his championship lead then.
Yeah, he definitely is, and especially over ahead of Matt. Matt, of course, finishing in P6. It's not exactly where the Renault would have wanted to finish. I think he was expecting everybody else to try and do a bit of a 2-stop strategy, but I mean, M Short, he played the 1-stop perfectly, and of course so did Hardy and Packer. It's just, I think it was just a raw pace from M Short, just keeping it up ahead and taking the win around Canada once again.
Yeah, definitely a really good drive by him. Only giving it to 2 warnings, I believe, so that is definitely impressive. As I'll run you through the race result if everyone to load. Yeah, there he is. M Short taking the top step in front of Hardy and Packer running up the podium. Spag, a very consistent race into P4. Tiger in 5th, very pacey. Ling of scores without penalties in 6th. Then Matthew 40 without that spin, that could have been much more, I reckon. He's in 7th. Then Nico with the damage in 8th. Rick jumping up into 9th. Lyronix in 10th, Slash in 11th, and Dylan ran up the points. Then we have Lando picking up a lot of time penalties, 26 seconds, that's quite a lot. In 13th, Skyteam 14th, Maurice 15th, Benji 16th, and then we have Carmentelis, Papa Master, and Malalitis not finishing, and Ryan getting disqualified because of 2 penalties due to track limits.
I had the feeling he would. I had the feeling. But he did pick up the fastest lap of the race as well, a 10.0 in the end. And of course, he's not going to get that point because of him getting that disqualification. But like I said, no penalties. It's paid off. Dan jumping up to P6 from P12. M Short doesn't drop down. Finishes 7 seconds up ahead of Hardy. I don't think that was the top three that we were expecting. Of course, we were expecting Short to win it. But I did say Hardy would be on the step. But he was on the second step and Packer was on the third step, and it just sort of fell short for Matt 240. But Verstappen, have you got anything left to say before we end the stream?
Not too much, except for yeah, well done to the podium drivers here, and they've done excellently. Especially the Packer showing his pace on the end of the race. Only getting P3 unfortunately due to some penalties, but I think without the penalties, Shorts would have had to worry a lot more, maybe. Yeah,
he certainly would have. So the gap, it's closed up. It's now about 42 points between first and second. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in to Division 2. I hope you have all enjoyed. We will catch you next week for Austria PC, of course, on the Friday at 8 PM UK time, and D1, D3 and D4 as always at 6:40, and D2 and D5 at 8 PM as always. Everyone, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.